Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Welcome back for another uh, maybe spicier review of a Conan story for the Cimmerian September. That's right, the Frost Giant's Daughter, a story that I'm certain is depicted on this cover of Conan of Cimmeria by, was it Daw Books? I can't tell. Ace. This was an Ace book. Let me double check and see if this one's actually in here. Yes, it is. That's weird. I'm gonna have to really do some collating and writing down the stories and try to find out what is the correct chronological order, because even this book has me scratching my head thinking things are not quite in order, and I really would like to find something that's perfectly in chronological order. But back to the story. Frost Giant's Daughter. After getting in some trouble, Conan decides to go back home and to Cimmeria, and then gets in a little scrape with some Norsemen. Let's just say the men of Vanaheim. I get those two, the Aesir and Vanaheim, confused sometimes. But after he's finished off the last of his opponents, he glimpses Atali, I believe that's her name, the Frost Giant's daughter, and decides to, there's no real nice way to say it, but take her against her will. I understand, and I can see how some people would be saying, well, she kind of, initiated the initial sort of playful teasing and flirting, maybe, but there comes a point in this story where it's not that anymore. When she's fighting and fleeing and essentially fighting for her life, so to speak, Conan's not having any of it and has other ideas. Then her brothers step in and he kills them as well, only to wake up with the little bits of her garment still in his hand, thinking that it was but a dream. And his friends inform him, no, that probably wasn't, because you're not the only one, blah blah blah. But still, brass tacks, it's a little suspicious. And I understand this is a fantasy story in a fantasy world with fantasy rules, but that's one of those things that I just not a fan of. This is literally my least favorite Conan story. When I saw it, I was not looking forward to it, even though I had read it in the Savage Sword of Conan magazine last month and went up. Here it comes again. This story. The art was really nice, and they did a fine job of it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this the one story that needs to be, left between its pages and left alone, or do you think it's okay? Do you think it's not for us to say because it's a fantasy world where rules and morals and things like that may be different? I don't know about you, but I think there is a definitive right and wrong, good and evil. Not saying that it's thoroughly evil, but it's definitely not something I want on my permanent record. He is a fictional character, but I'm curious to see what you guys think about this one. Maybe you're okay with it. We'll see by the comments in the section who is and who isn't. Those of you who leave no comment, I'll have to assume that you're fine with it for whatever reason. Not going to judge you. I just curious to see if I'm the only one who felt that this was just a little, sorry Robert, but yeah, I would kind of leave this kind of thing out of any book I ever wrote, unless I was trying to show the character as the bad guy, or at least flawed, which obviously Conan was. But 9 times out of 10 he usually does the right thing. And this, maybe it was a spell, maybe he's bewitched or delirious from combat or something, I don't know, after that much blood loss. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to keep this one short because I don't want to go on and on about it, but I would really like to hear your guys' opinion on this one, to see if you agree, disagree, or maybe you thought of something that I didn't. But that's what I have for you this morning. I will be back tomorrow night with my Savage Sword game with Bloodworth and Coco B and Melkor, and hopefully you, DM Beelzebub, I really hope you can join in tomorrow night's game. And then Thursday, I'm not sure what we're doing, because we may have a very special video, and I may have to postpone the book club. Sorry, Grandma, I'll let you know as soon as I know, but once you know, you'll understand. And if not, hopefully those of you who've read Hero's Journey will come and join me Thursday night, but that's still 24 hours plus away. So I will let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled programming, and I will see you guys all in the Funny Papers.